What would you say is the most ambitious project currently? Here's one suggestion. In 2007, 11 African countries came together to fight a war against the desert. To explain why, let's look at the battlefield. This is the Sahel. It's a region south of the Sahara Desert and home to 135 million people, a number that is increasing. It is an area that is getting drier and hotter every year. See, the Sahara is expanding. Normally, this would take thousands of years, but with climate change and other factors, we managed to speed it up quite a bit. Expansion that would have needed hundreds and hundreds of years now happens in a decade. The spread of the Sahara will push millions into starvation, water deprivation, and honestly will cause many deaths. This process is called desertification. Plants die out, the land becomes drier and drier, water becomes more and more scarce, and people simply can't farm or raise cattle. In 2007, the African Union came up with an ambitious solution. 11 African countries would plant billions and billions of trees so that they create a natural barrier to the approaching dry lands. This Great Green Wall of Africa would cover over 1 million square kilometers, 4 times the size of the United Kingdom, or 72 Montenegros if you're more familiar with that unit of measurement. The budget was $8 billion and the end date was 2030. So let's see the situation right now. There are conflicting reports on the area covered by trees so far, but they all agree on one point. We are not where we need to be if we want to complete this project by 2030. Still, there are good news. The project itself has evolved. It started out as a plan to build a great green wall to keep the desert out, but experience has shown that there is a better way. Work with the local communities, educate them, and provide them with a reason to care for the trees. And that way, after you leave, there will be people keeping them alive. What does this look like? For example, giving them little lemon trees. The people plant them and care for them because they know that they can sell the fruit. And this is a fantastic way to earn money in these areas. Also, the planting techniques have changed. In Western Africa, due to rapid climate change, regular tree planting simply doesn't work anymore. So some very old methods are used. Now, I don't have time to explain it right now, but it's very interesting because these are the exact methods used by the people living at those places hundreds of years ago. So it's not a great green wall anymore. It's a line of thousands of communities that are rebuilding an ecosystem, like little forts that are expanding and keeping the foe away and protecting millions of lives. Or in this case, the foe is the desert. This is the current status of the wall. In 2020, 4% of the initially planned zone was restored. But the good thing is that the additional 16% was restored in regions outside the initially planned locations. Ethiopia planted 15 million hectares. Now that's billions and billions of trees. And 15% of the total amount, only not everything was planted in the implementation area. But still, it's an amazing achievement. But still, although significant progress was made, And the experience learned is beyond valuable. There were bad news. At this rate, 72 Montenegros of trees could not be reached before 2030. And that would have been such a shame considering what was achieved so far and all the experience learned. And this would have been a sad story of an ambitious project. But something great happened last year. $14 billion of funding for the project were gained. The contributors were countries of the African Union, the EU, and especially France. So, what's my overall opinion on the project? I think it's fantastic. It's preventing a catastrophe and saving millions of lives. And before we end the video, let's do a little cost comparison so I can show you exactly how little $8 billion are in this contest. Consider this, on one side we have a project that will create a forest ecosystem on 1 million square kilometers by planting billions and billions of trees. It will save millions of lives, and when we add up the initial cost of 8 billion and the added 14 billion, we get $24 billion. Just for an example, let's say on the other hand we have a new aircraft carrier. It costs 13 billion, with planes and equipment that's 18 billion, and when we calculate the research and development, it adds up to 22 billion. So basically 22 billion for a very big murder boat with planes. And keep in mind that the United States has 10 more of these. I'm not trying to simply bash the US. I'm telling you this so that you can see just how little funding is necessary to save millions of lives in one of the most unhospitable places in the world that we made far worse with climate change. This is sort of a criticism of us all, like humanity. I think our priorities are simply wrong. Before I end the video, I want to encourage you to do your own research. I try to do my very best, but I could be wrong about many things. Also, if you're interested, you could check out my video about what I think is by far the most important resource for a country that wants to become a superpower. Or you can learn about 5 reasons why electric cars are great and we should support them, and one strong reason why maybe we shouldn't. Either way, I hope you have a wonderful day, and if you want to support a small channel, feel free to subscribe. I would really appreciate it.